Hey everyone, I'm Almar of almarsguides.com, and in this video here I'm going to be talking to you about ways you can make gold by transferring items back and forth between Alliance and Horde, and specifically what items would be best to transfer, i.e. which items have the largest difference in value between the two factions. So first we're going to start with this item right here that is currently up on my screen, Pristine Black Diamond. Now as you can see, look at the Horde value right here. Almost triple, if not more, the value on Horde than it is on Alliance. The reason for this item, the difference in value on my server, is there's so many more Alliance players than there are Horde players, which means it's so much more common for them to get these items than it is for, people on Horde. And I'll just buy all these out, transfer them over to Horde next time I'm at the neutral auction house, and make a great profit off of them. So another item that is going for that you can get on Alliance and transfer to Horde is wool cloth. As you can see, there's not much on the auction house right now, but the price of it on the auction house is pretty darn low. So let's look comparison on Horde. So as you can see on Horde, the price is there is none up for cheap. Every price is high, and this is the average price for wool on my server typically. And this is pretty typical for it on Alliance. And the reason for this is Stockades is in the Alliance town, and there's no place that's super easy for Horde to farm wool. So wool will always be cheaper on Alliance than it is on Horde. Now, it's not a lot of money you'll make from transferring wool across the neutral auction house, but it is a safe bet, and it is some money, especially if you're just starting out and money is a big deal to you. Another item that you'd be able to transfer across the neutral auction house, which is actually just popped into my mind, it isn't even on my list, is chunk of boar meat. And the reason for this is, on Alliance, they kill so many boars in Westfall, in Elwine Forest, and basically everywhere that it's so much easier to get it on Alliance than it is on Horde. Right now it is pretty expensive on Alliance. It isn't. Usually it's like this price, like 1 silver each. You can get a full stack for like 15 silver, which means you could make double by transferring it to Horde, but again, this is another really, really low ticket small item. So another item we're going to be looking at here is fused wiring. Now, Alliance are very close to Nomergon, so fused wiring is going to not only be more common, but typically more cheaper, and of course, right now, it shows me that I'm wrong sometimes, because it's actually slightly cheaper on Horde than it is on Alliance. And this is a good demonstration of the randomness that can also come into play here. I think the reason it's cheaper on Horde right now than Alliance is because Alliance have much more people using field repair robots than Horde, because on my server it's like 70% Alliance, 30% Horde. So that's one of the main reasons you see, or I see, so many different disparities in prices when looking between the two factions. So Elemental Earth, this is another big one that is going to almost always be more expensive on Alliance than on Horde. And the reason for this is because Alliance don't have Wind Fury. It really is as simple as that. And of course the prices are relatively similar right now when I'm making the video to not orchestrate my point at all. So Alliance need to use Elemental Earths and or Dense Stones, which we're going to be getting to next, on their weapons because they have no Wind Fury. And due to the fact that they have no Wind Fury, they're going to have to use 2 Sharpening Stones instead of just 1. Which means basically every Sharpening Stone is going to cost more money on Alliance than Horde. So let's look at Dense Stone. This is usually one that is almost, of course, it's going for cheap on Alliance right now. This is usually always one, though, that is cheaper on Horde than it is on Alliance. And like I said, of course, you can see right now that it shoots it in the foot like it always does for the purposes of this video. There's some that are cheaper on Alliance, but for the most part, it's the same price right now. Although there's a ton more on Alliance because they're high pop versus Horde. But 90% of the time, of course, when I'm not making this video, Dense Stone will always be more expensive on Alliance, and I almost always transfer my Dense Stone to Alliance to sell it, due to the fact that it's very easy for me to get 5 gold for a stack of Dense Stone, and on Horde, this is about as much as you can expect to get for your Dense Stone, about 4 gold a stack. So aside from Dense Stone, we have every single herb in the game. So we have Mountain Silver Sage. Let's look at the prices. That is about average. Usually it is a little bit cheaper on Horde, but of course it won't be for this video. Oh, it is. Cool. So as you can see, this is one of my favorite items to transfer back and forth between the neutral auction house because of how quick it sells and how much a little tiny price disparity can make you a decent chunk of money. So let's say, if you bought all of these and it added up to, what, 17 gold a stack, you would be able to transfer them to Alliance and sell them for almost 3 gold more. And you would be able to sell them almost instantaneously because you would be undercutting everybody else. If you waited another day or two until they went back up to like 22 to 24 gold on Alliance, then you would be able to make, what, 5 gold, 6 gold almost, by doing nothing except buying it on Horde, putting it on the neutral auction house, transferring it to Alliance, and selling it there. Of course, there are some risks you take when doing the neutral auction house, but I'm going to address how to safely transfer items across the neutral auction house in another video that'll be coming out soon. So, Dreamfoil, let's look at this item. Usually it's always cheaper on Horde, but right now it's actually going for a decent chunk. Usually it's like 14 gold on Horde. So right now, about 1 gold difference between the two factions. You could buy some of them on Horde like these for much cheaper and transfer them and make a decent profit, but 1 to 2 gold profit from transferring these across the neutral auction house isn't too shabby. So let's look at Grom's Blood, another big ticket item. These have been going like skyrocketing up in price. Yeah, that's about what I expect. It'll probably be more expensive on Horde because we don't have a lot of people playing at all. Yeah. So this is a good example. You can take you could literally buy these items right now on Alliance and transfer them to Horde and make bank. So let's say 25 gold versus 18 gold. So 7 gold is how much you would make by transferring these, buying these on Alliance and transferring them to Horde and selling them there. That's a decent chunk of change. And you would probably lose like 15, maybe 20 silver in the neutral auction house cut. So everything, like, that's 6 gold 60 to 6 gold 80 silver you're making just in your pocket by doing the transfers across. Now let's look at Plague Bloom. This is a hot ticket item because it's used in Elixir of Mongooses, and I guarantee it'll probably be cheaper on Horde. Nope, about the same price. This is another good item for you to check, but obviously right now I can't really say anything about it since it's like roughly the same price. Let me see. There is Blindweed. There's another herb that we can check. Blindweed, typically, it's one of the... I wouldn't recommend buying Blindweed just to transfer it willy-nilly, but Blindweed is a very good herb that you can find at a cheap price. Like, since it's not used in many of the endgame herbs, it's possible for it to get down into, like, significantly below market value. As you can see, 21 gold a stack for the Blindweed. And on my server, or on Horde, it's only like 12 gold a stack or so. If you can even find a stack of it up. So this would be, you'd be able to make almost double by transferring it between the two auction houses. Let's see. Golden Pearl. Now this is another good one. These prices have been fluctuating so wildly over the last 2 weeks, I have no idea what to expect. So as you can see right now on Alliance, they're significantly cheaper, about 10 gold cheaper per Golden Pearl versus on Horde. So you would be able to, like, of course, as always, transfer these back and forth between the two to make a almost 10 gold profit. Let's see, Righteous Orbs. This is another good one. Now, you might have already noticed, I'm kind of going through I'm going through all of the most popular items, basically. That's what I'm doing. Huh. I wonder why they're so cheap on Alliance. I bet, hold on. I bet 60 Strathholm. I guarantee there's botters on this server. Yeah, look at all these botters. That's why Righteous Orbs are so cheap here. Because we have a shit ton of people botting Strathholm on this server. So, let's check Horde. We can do who 60 Strathholm. We'll see if Horde has a lot of botters. And no, they don't. That explains the price difference. And these are the little niche sorts of things that you should look for when it comes to transferring items back and forth between the auction houses. It's a good way to just, you know, slash who, check for bots. If there's bots in a certain, like if there's bots in Stratholme that are farming Righteous Orbs, then they may be a good item to transfer between the two factions to make a decent profit off of. Or you can buy them out now and wait until the bots get banned and then sell them later. There's just so many little niche things like this that will change the value of items pretty radically that you should keep an eye out for. So the other, you can do hot ticket items too. Like, let's say, Molten Core BOEs. Really, any Molten Core BOEs are, like, maybe decent to transfer back and forth across the servers. As you can see right now, they, like, not really that much of a profit. We can do Of Might, Bracers of Might, 175 gold on Alliance. They probably won't even be on Horde. Nope. So, depending on your server, you can take these little tiny items, or you can take these Molten Core BOEs and transfer them back and forth, but the only things I would say that are, wow. The only things I would say that are bad about doing this, I'm actually going to buy these. The only things that's bad about doing this is, A, you take a bigger risk when transferring across the neutral auction house. Like, I'm going to, when I transfer these Night Slayer belts across the neutral auction house, I'm going to list them for probably like 50 to 75 gold a piece, because that's the best way to make sure nobody's going to auction house sniper bot me. So you do lose like 5 to 10 gold, however much it ends up being, through the neutral auction house, and you also have to eat the prices, the deposit costs when they don't sell, which is the other downside of doing it. So those are the only downsides of really doing big items like this. Like you just see me list the Stockade Pauldrons. I've been buying these on Horde for a decent, they usually under 100 gold on Horde, and I can sell them for over 100 gold on Alliance. So they're another item that is decent to transfer back and forth between the two factions. And like I said, really any hot ticket item. So like you got Alcor Sunraiser. On Horde, it's 1,000, over 1,000 gold. On Alliance, it's under 800 gold, technically under 700 gold. What is the other one? Cloud Keepers. Cloud Keeper. Let's see. Not even up on the, or maybe it's maybe there's a space. Nope. Let's see. Edge Masters. This item would be, it's if you're going to transfer an Edge Masters back and forth between the auction houses, you should be very, very, very careful at listing them at a low price. So as you can see, there's not even any on Horde, but this is a good item too for you to transfer, you know, to and from the two factions, depending on how much you want to, you know, profit. Let's look at the Hikari Bijous. One of the last, holy shit, they're cheap. So as you can see, they're going for about double on Horde, which also explains why so many people are transferring them over to Horde and trying to sell them here. So this is just another, the main reason that they're going for cheaper on Alliance is because Alliance, 70% of the server, Horde 30%. So many more people running ZG on Alliance versus running it on Horde. But this is another good example of an item that you can transfer back and forth between the factions. There's a few small ticket items like Deviate Scale belt patterns, as well as Deviate Scale belts, as well as the Deviate Scales themselves. You also have Deviate Fish. Typically, they're cheaper on Horde than they are on Alliance due to the Horde's proximity to Crossroads, but as you can see, not right now, of course. The Savory Deviate recipe itself will be cheaper on Horde than it is on Alliance due to the fact that Horde actually grind in Barons and Alliance don't. There's a whole bunch of little things like this that, you know, you can transfer back and forth, and you can find your own little niche and then make, you know, tons of profit off of it. It's all experimentation, learning, thinking, planning ahead, all that fun stuff. And that's basically all there is for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Hopefully you can make a little bit of gold off of it. And I'll catch you around the next one.